world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? Friday night, it gets confusing, doesn't it? Because you've got the Friday night games, the Thursday night games that are normally on, but they're not on this week because of State of Origin next week. So you've got a Wednesday night game. Very confusing. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Welcome along. Friday night footy. And the Dolphins are taking on the Storm. Probably one of the more entertaining games of the weekend. It's up there with, I think, the Roosters and the Bulldogs is probably going to be another one that'll be worth checking out. But the two teams tonight, at the very least, are not that affected by Origin duties. They pretty much cancel each other out, and that's why I think I made a special effort to do this game. I was actually going to sit out all the NRL games this weekend because Origin coming up. Origin's always a big one. I like to prepare for that. And we've got Super Rugby tomorrow, and I've got to be up at, well, I don't got to be, but I've decided I'm going to be up at 10 a.m. to cover all the action in the England versus Japan rugby test. Anyway, enough about me. How are you, everybody out there? Gamer Mel, ahoy. Michelle, ahoy there. DJ Shaq, ahoy. Alan Calatoni, ahoy. UFC OnlyFams. UFC's got a same game multi of his own. Storm -5.5. Katoa and Farnworth for a same game multi. I've gone in a slightly different direction, but I had pretty much a free shot at this. I've got any leg fails, guaranteed cashback. So I've kind of gone all out. Yes, by the way, I'm going to read out what DJ Shaq has posted verbatim. Actually, I'm going to do better. I'm going to put it on the screen. Because we do need to acknowledge this, even though comparatively, and especially on this channel, because this channel is mainly rugby league related, we do have to acknowledge a very, very tragic event. And yes, I'll just read out what DJ Shaq has posted here. I'd just like to acknowledge the tragic and untimely passing of Highlanders outside back Connor Garden-Bachop, who passed away at 25 due to medical complications. Cheers to Connor. Don't know why I'm holding my glass the wrong way around. Yes, very, very sad news. I mean, 25 is way too young. Way too young, to say the least. But anyway, on some slightly happier topics. Zastavelli, ahoy there. So Michelle's gone Herbie, Katoa. All right, so if I'm to understand this correctly, I'm guessing people who have gone for Herbie and Katoa probably, I'm going out on a limb here and suggesting that maybe that those players are just because they pop up so regularly in the try-scoring markets. That would be my guess. My problem is I look into things a little too deeply. I look at Katoa, and I thought about putting him in because he is a bit of a try-scoring machine. But I treat it like I'm at the casino and I'm playing roulette. Because I'm like, Katoa, I'm pretty sure Katoa has scored in the last 3 games straight. So I kind of look at that and I go, all right, 3 hits have gone in a row. We're due for a miss. And that's the reason why I left Katoa out of my same game multi tonight. Robert Emma's gone the Dolphins because the Storm are missing Munster and Grant. Where the Dolphins can fire, they still have a good side. They beat the Sharks, but beating the Sharks is nothing to really be that proud of, Robert, to be honest. No, I think, look, the Origin selections pretty much cancel each other out, in my opinion. The Dolphins are missing Kaufusi and his ridiculous haircut. And Harry Grant is missing from the Storm. Xavier Coates missing from the Storm. And the Hammer missing from the Dolphins. I did that in the most awkward way possible, didn't I? Rather than just going through, here's who's missing from the Dolphins, and here's who's missing from the Storm, I did one at a time from either side. So, Kaufusi and the Hammer are missing from the Dolphins. We'll try again. And Harry Grant and Xavier Coates missing from the Melbourne Storm. So they pretty much cancel each other out on Origin duty. And based on that, I think Harry Grant, whilst he's a very big absence, Pappenhausen's back. I just think Melbourne too strong here tonight. Tomorrow's third one is going to be a good one. All right, well, let's quickly run through what we've got coming up tomorrow. As I said, 10 a.m., I'll be up bright and early to cover the England versus Japan rugby test. In the NRL, before that, there is also the Super Rugby Grand Final that I'll be doing from around about 5 p.m. So I'm going to miss the Roosters-Bulldogs game, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh, yeah, Rabbitohs Sea Eagles at 7:30. That should be a cracker as well. Manly and the Rabbitohs, a couple of teams obliterated by Origin duty. But it still should be a good game. I actually think with the teams that are, with the players that are out for those teams, makes it an absolute cracking contest. They're both, once again, missing equal players. Roosters Bulldogs, I suspect that Stephen Crichton's absence will be a bridge too far. We're not here to talk about basketball. All right, Michelle? You can, hey, if you want, you're more than welcome to have your own. I mean, I realize that the basketball's over now for the season, but hey, next year, you're more than welcome to have your own basketball show on the Waste of Water Sports. Yes, it is Waste of Water Sports, but this is a footy stream. We cover the wrestling and the UFC here as well, but you don't hear me banging on about that during NRL streams, do you? Ah, yes. Teams getting ready to come out onto the field. No, we do. I said I don't. I think. I can't remember what I said. When you're here, though, you always drag me into conversations about stuff I'm not interested in. And now you're doing it on the chat. Teams coming out onto the field for this one. By the way, Hamish, 10 a.m. is extremely goddamn early on a Saturday morning. Come on. Acknowledge that. At least when I go off topic, it's about like beard oils and just random stuff like that. Oh, by the way, look what's on special at the moment. We've got a little bit of a challenge here for the captain. Beware, captain. Beware, captain, because the Kraken is about. It's a nice little drop, that one. The Kraken is here. Speaking of here, here's Pappy. He's back. Ryan Pappenhausen He is back, and I've slotted him straight into a same-game multi. And we are underway. Dolphins versus the Storm at Suncorp Stadium. That got underway so quick. I might have to reconsider my 10-minute pre-games. As the Storm receive the kickoff, Robert M has asked how that guy, TPJ, Tafita Pangai Jr. will go coming back in to the NRL. Well, apparently, Robert M, ahoy there, James. Apparently, he's already missed training. I heard Vobsy broke the news during Generations last weekend that apparently he's already missed a training session. So, take that for what you will. As the Dolphins take the ball after a completed set from the Storm, but this is big defense, Melbourne. 3 in the tackle, driving them backwards. I've gone the Storm here. I just feel like they've got the stronger team across the park. The absences for Origin basically even each other out. But it should be a great game. I mean, even the Wasted Water Sports poll, it was very hard to split. 53% in favour of the Storm. 5th and last hit for the Dolphins inside Storm territory. And Katoa Isaiah puts the kick up. Champion, ahoy, mate. By the way, speaking of Queensland and New South Wales, State of Origin women's and State of Origin under-19s have both gone the way of New South Wales. So, that's the first time that's happened. Oh, straight from dummy half goes Wishart, finding some space. Never mind the absence of Harry Grant when you've got Tyron Wishart there. Cutout pass puts Warbrick into some space. He takes on Bostock, gets the fend on, but Bostock comes back at him and brings him down. Bostock's now doing a Reece Walsh and pretending to be knocked down on the sideline as Hughes puts the kick up. Contestable, but Fuller does extremely well. He's having a snooze. He's having a legit snooze on the sideline there, Bostock. He's a sleepy boy. Oh, g'day, mate. Have I missed the game? What are you doing in my room? Let's see what happened here. Warbrick gets the fend on, and Bostock goes smack into the turf, and he is out like a light. I've got to say, as much as Reece Walsh milked it in Origin 1, this does look fairly legitimate as we cut to commercial. Wow. He was having a legit snooze on the sideline there. I've never seen anything quite like it. Poor guy. A little bit rattled there. Intriguing start to the game as the medical staff is all out there. Bostock, he's up and about. He's all good. He's got grass implanted in his forehead now, but he's up and about, which is the important thing for a few multis, Michelle, mine included. No, Bostock was down. Oh, okay, so you don't have Bostock. Bostock and 2 smoking barrels. He's off for a HIA. Well, he has to go off for a HIA because he was having a snooze on the sideline. And the Dolphins will bring Nichols onto the paddock. The Dolphins have it. Oh, no, not a send-off. He smacked his head into the ground. I'm gathering you're not watching the game, Michelle. Yeah, he was making the tackle. Legitimate tackle. Legitimate fend. And he just whacked his head on the ground as he fell. The kick from the Dolphins down to the Storm 30-meter line. And he was out so cold, he was legitimately like Superman position. And you could see him snoring. It wasn't like that fake stuff that happened in Origin the other week. On his back, pretending to be out. No, he was having a good old snooze, curled up in the on the sideline. Nate, ahoy there, mate. A dummy from Wishart. He almost goes through. It's the Storm with the first opportunity, though. 30 metres out from the line. Hughes, cut out pass to Warbrick. Warbrick bobbles it, and that was what stopped him scoring a try there. He bobbled the ball, couldn't collect it. Fifth and last. Hughes with the crossfield kick. Taken by Katoa, but tackled a metre out, and that'll be a handover ball. And the Dolphins defend well again. It was Sean Bloor as well, incidentally. It's not like me to get somebody's name wrong. UFC's back to cloning James in the chat room. I'm really not sure what that's all about. And Burko. Ahoy there, Burko. Sorry I missed that earlier. I was in the middle of a rant. Nichols on the field. We're all patiently awaiting the entrance of Tavita Pangai Jr., I'm sure. We can't wait to talk about that. A 6 again here for the Dolphins, right as they go over the halfway line. This is great for them. Nichols will take tackle 2. They're 30 metres out from the Storm line, just to the left of the uprights. Katoa, dummies inside, goes out to Nikorima. Nikorima links up with Avarillo, and Avarillo is caught. Tackle 3, 10 out. Nikorima shows the ball, runs across the post, links up with Katoa. Fuller's up in the line, hands it off to Aitken. Aitken bounces towards the try line. Centimetres short here, the Dolphins. Max Plath will just surrender for tackle 5 in midfield. Bostock's off for a HIA. We don't know the status yet. The crossfield kick for Zarko. Zarko taps it back in field. The pass to Nikorima. Nikorima puts the kick in under the post. Hughes collects it, and Jerome Hughes is caught high. But a goal line dropout is the call. Yeah, Bostock's gone for a HIA. He was legitimately snoozing. So chances are he's probably done. I mean, he was legitimately out cold. There was no acting going on there from Bostock. He was having a good old nap. And when the trainer woke him up, it sort of had that big night out, and you've passed out in the living room, and the housemate wakes you up, and you're like, hang on, what am I doing here? Type of vibes about it. Penalty to the Dolphins from the goal line dropout. 7 minutes, 15 seconds gone in this one. And it's a penalty out in front. Will they dare take the 2? It's a long way out. It's a guaranteed 3 points in Union. It's a little bit far out for rugby league kickers. So they put it into touch and launch another attack. Big run up field here from Lemuelu. And they're back to within 10 of the Storm line. Storm doing a lot of defense here. Plath to Katoa. Katoa with the short ball to Kenny Bromwich. Running right off his shoulder and straight through a gap to score. And that's the first try of the game. And it's Bromwich, Kenneth. 4 points to 0 to the Dolphin. Dream start for the semi-home side. I say semi-home side, of course, because this is the Broncos' home ground. And the Dolphins are actually from KO Stadium up in Redcliffe. So it's a semi-home game. Kenny Bromwich. Oh, well, who had that? Who had him as first try scorer? Anybody? Raise your hand. Certainly not me. $4 points to 0. The kick to come. The Red Knight, 47. Reports apparently from Fox League that he's off for good. My initial reaction, having seen a lot of footy, is that there's no way that he can possibly come back. But I haven't heard anything personally, directly. DJ Shack is a very reliable source, though. Fox League, not so much. But DJ Shack, very much so. As the conversion is successful, I believe. I don't know, I was kind of dilly-dallying around with the chat room. Yes, it was. 6-0 to the Dolphins. Taking the lead early in this one. Those fin hands, James, are the most ridiculous things. Honestly, I wouldn't say I supported the Dolphins in the Queensland Rugby League. My team, Little Dan, always used to go for the Valley's diehards. But I always liked the Redcliffe Dolphins. They were sort of, I guess you would say they were my second team in the QRL when Dad used to take me to games. The old Panther used to take me out to games most weekends. And I would either choose Valleys or the Dolphins. And so I wanted to love the Dolphins when they came into the competition. What made it very, very difficult was those stupid goddamn budget fins that they passed out to everybody, which apparently I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard as the Dolphins get to the fifth and last and get their kick away down to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen wrapped up by Nikorima, and the Storm are 5 meters out from their own line. But what I've heard is apparently people are wearing them wrong. That's what I've heard. Like, people are wearing them on their heads like they're some sort of retarded elf. I keep saying that word. Apparently, I'm not allowed to say that word anymore in 2024. But they wear it's like some committed elf who's escaped from the North Pole. Apparently, they're supposed to wear them on their hands. They're clappers. People have been wearing them on their heads like fools. As the Storm put on a broken piece play and racing down the sideline here is Hoyworth. Gets the pass back inside to Anderson. Anderson links up with Pappenhausen, and Pappenhausen scores. Ryan Pappenhausen scores on the back end of a length of the field effort for the Melbourne Storm. They hit back. Pappenhausen gives me a tick on the multi. And they have gone from their own 20-meter line all the way upfield. Jermaine Osako horribly caught out there in defense. And Jack Howarth down the sideline. Pappenhausen lurking up in support. His first game back from injury, and he scores a try. Fantastic effort. Breakaway try for the Melbourne Storm. Richard Trainer, ahoy, mate. Hey, Richard. Oh, God. I've left the stuff out in the other room. Hey, Richard, if you're still there at halftime, or if you're away and come back at halftime, based on our conversations from Generations the other week, I might have something there to show you. I'm not sure. It depends if the old Panther and I are remembering correctly. Anyway, Nick Meaney with the conversion attempt. Strikes it well. It's hooking back around. And 12 minutes 56. We're all locked up again. 6 points apiece. Zastavelli says, can always trust Pappy to score. That's why I put him in, Zastavelli. As soon as I found out Pappenhausen was playing tonight, back in the squad, straight into the same game multi he went. You can't go wrong with Pappenhausen. Richard Trainer says the pub is wondering who the commentator for the game. Hang on, I might have missed something here. All right, what's happening? How was your week? Kicking back at your cousin's 21st. Nice. Oh, on the TV there. Jesus Christ. Ahoy there, Chitaway Bay Tavern. As Melbourne received the kickoff. An amazing effort to run almost the length of the field and lock this game up again. Karma Chameleon puts the head down, goes over the halfway line, draws in 3 Dolphins defenders. Fifth and last, Hughes is on the short side. 40 out from the Dolphins line, puts it high. Fuller loses it behind him. It sets up for the Storm, but losing the ball forward there, I believe it was Nick Meaney who couldn't collect the loose ball. All he had to do was fall on it, and it was another try for the Storm. It was another tick for my multi, but the dumb son of a bitch tried to pick it up. Just dive on it and slide over, you great big goof. Anyway, easy to say from here, isn't it? In total fairness. Nick Meaney. Look at that. Momentum took him over the line, is what I'm saying. All he needed to do was dive on that ball, and he would have slid across the line. Can Michelle... Okay. Serious question for the chat room. Can Michelle not hear a single word I'm saying tonight? Or is she doing that thing... Is she doing that selective hearing thing that the females do? I've just offended every... I've just now offended every female that's watching. Oh, that's brilliant. Nichols, dummies, has a run on his own. I'm joking, of course. Before any snowflakes get offended in 2024. I'm only joking. Dolphins break away down this near sideline. Asako is tackled. 20 out from the line. Katoa is thumped from Grant Anderson as he tries to get the kick away. And now it's broken field play for the Storm, and that is dangerous. Zero tackle for Melbourne. That was a mess. You don't get this sort of banter on Fox Sports or Channel 9 as Wishart dummies and goes through a gap. Gets the offload away to Anderson, but it's in behind him. Grant Anderson had to reach back and he loses the ball into touch. A half break. Craig Bellamy, he's not going to be happy. He's trying to keep himself calm and composed up there in the coach's box. You can tell he really wants to fire up over that. Wishart did all the hard work and got through, but the pass just wasn't out in front of Anderson. You can't blame Grant Anderson for that one. Anderson's carpets, we'll call him. Wesley Marimar, the momentum for Storm has ignited. But some simple errors has stifled that momentum a little bit. It's the Dolphins back on the attack. A kick on tackle 3 from Nikorima. Nobody at the back for the Storm, and it sits up for Nikorima. Now, was there a touch from the Dolphins? If there was no touch, this is a try. We've got time off. Very interested to see what the referee sends this up as. He has sent it up as no try, and that could become crucial in the decision-making process as Nikorima is gushing out blood from his eye, it looks like. Oh, there was a little cheeky touch there from one of the Dolphins players, it looks like. Oh, that's Jake Averillo, who's got through, competed with Pappenhausen in the air for the ball, and it looks like he's got a cheeky little fingertip. Only the hair of a bee's nut in it, but no try. And the Storm hold on. 6-all it remains. Vincent Spears, the hometown music. Ahoy, mate. How are you doing? Are you as excited as I am, Vincent, for the 2 points for the Sharks this weekend? Two points for the Sharkies. Mark Bowie, ahoy. Welcome along. Sharks have got the bye, DJ Shack. Guaranteed 2 points. Can't lose. Karma Chameleon. Another good run. Almost up to the halfway line here. And Big Nelson's on the field. And Nelson takes them over the halfway mark. Tackle 3. Short ball to Sean Blaw. Running off the hip. Here's Hughes. Puts the kick in on tackle 4. It sits up at the back, though, for the Dolphins and Trey Fuller. They're offside. Melbourne, offside. Giving away the penalty. It was on. That play was well and truly on. Jerome Hughes with the vision. The kick was a little too heavy. But once again, as I always say, it's easy to criticize from up here. Well, I'm not even criticizing. I'm just stating something that I believe played out on the field. It wasn't even criticism, I guess. But a little too much weight on the kick, much like there's a little bit too much weight on myself. And over it went. Mark Bowie asks who I think is going to win between the Roosters and the Bulldogs. I've got the Roosters winning that one. Bulldogs, I just don't think the Bulldogs can cope with the absence of Stephen Crichton. And of course, I've heard, I've yet to actually look at it and fact check it, but I have heard from reliable sources that Josh Adokar's out injured as well. So, and there's no guarantee that Kikau's going to be playing. He's been named in the team, but there is yet to be a guarantee that he will actually play. So I've got the Roosters winning that one. Tackle 5 now for the Dolphins. 30 metres out from the Storm line. There's been a lot of play down this end of the field. Grant Anderson takes the high ball under very little threat. And the Storm have it. 10 metres out from their own line. Anderson trying to milk a penalty. Wishart trying to steal some metres from dummy half. Raiders versus Tigers. Undecided yet, Mark. Undecided. I've gone Raiders for the moment, but I may change my mind. I predicted the Tigers' victory over the Titans last week. So we'll see. I may change my mind on that one, but at the moment I'm leaning towards Ricky's Green Goblins. As much as that pains me. Fifth and last, a crossfield kick. Not a lot of distance on it. It only goes down to the 40-metre line of the Dolphins' side of halfway. I predicted it, but didn't tip it. Absolutely, DJ Shaq. I was trying to leave that little nugget of information out and see if anyone noticed. Oh, well. Wesley Marimar says, bro, you are not criticizing. The comments are overwhelming. Thumbs up. Cheers. Cheers for that, Wesley. As the Dolphins put on a set-piece play down this near side. Pass goes back into Avarillo, I believe, is there. Playing the ball on the fifth and last. Again, they're down the Storm end of the field. 20 metres out, crossfield kick, Storm, hold back, allow the Dolphins to catch it, but that's dangerous as Bromwich has it, pops the pass back, and unmarked on the outside is Ewan Aitken to score in the corner. Melbourne have stood back and let the Dolphins take the high ball uncontested. They've backed their defence, but a miracle ball from Kenny Bromwich. Kenny Bromwich, who scored the opening try, surely has to get an assist next to his name for this one. How has he got this ball away? Bromwich a metre out from the line. He popped it back to Ray Stone. On the stat sheet, Ray Stone will probably get the try assist for this because he threw the last pass, but put that whole play down to Kenny Bromwich. Created the space in the corner for Ewan Aitken, and the Dolphins lead 10-6. Kick to come. People who dislike the Melbourne Storm rejoice, because they are under serious threat here. A majority of this 22 and a half minutes that have gone so far have been played down this side of the field, this end of the field, as the try is confirmed by the bunker. And it's 4 points for the Dolphins. Most of this game played down the Melbourne Storm end of the field. And there is one extremely unexcited Dolphins fan. She's been dragged there by the boyfriend. Guaranteed. She was dragged along on a date or something, and he's like, here, wear this. It'll be really sexy. And she's just sitting there like, I hate my goddamn life. Jermaine Asako from the sideline to give the Dolphins a 6-point buffer. It's on target. He's put it over. And the Dolphins lead this 12 points to 6. They have been extremely dominant as well. I'd be very interested to see some of the statistics. Let's have a look at some of the statistics. I'm very curious to know territory, mainly. Melbourne have had their fair share of the ball, but it has seriously been down the other end of the field. Well, these are some very interesting statistics. We're only 23 minutes into this contest as Ryan Pappenhausen gets us back underway and the Dolphins secure the ball. But these are some interesting stats. Okay, so possession, 56% in favour of the Dolphins, 44 to the Storm. It's a little bit more lopsided than I was expecting. Now, this, I've got to say, I've not noticed whilst calling the game. The Dolphins completing at 91%. The Storm are only completing at 62%. 11 from 12 sets by the Dolphins, 5 from 8 from the Storm. It doesn't feel that lopsided. It really doesn't. I don't recall the Storm making mistakes at the back end of sets to only be completing 62%. As the Dolphins get up to halfway, Katoa puts the kick in. Pappenhausen very dangerously lets it bounce, but they dodge a bullet and it goes over the dead ball line. Now, territory is the one that I'm interested in. And where do I find that? I would have thought it would be right there. Do they honestly not have a territorial statistic on the NRL website? You're joking me. You're kidding me. That can't be possible. Hang on, I'll check Fox Sports. Surely the NRL website would have a territory statistic on there on their bloody feed. Here we go. I found it on Fox Sports. Territory, 76% Dolphins, 24% Melbourne. That makes a lot of sense. That stat actually adds up because every time I've looked up, the Dolphins are down the Storm end. Apart from now, the cutout pass again from Wishart is in behind Grant Anderson. And the Dolphins will dive on the loose ball, although there's a touch. The referee has called a touch on the ball, and that's probably what's caused. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Tavita Pangai Jr. is on the field as the Dolphins have raised a captain's challenge. In the meantime, captain's challenge. Dolphins claiming there was no touch on this ball and it was just a shocking pass. And in amongst all of that, Tavita Pangai Jr. has been unleashed. He couldn't make training, but he made the game all right. Game ML says, all my bets are done for tonight. Got your money back? Well, I get my money back anyway. But since Bostock's been ruled out, I'm curious to see if they've just refunded it immediately. With Bostock ruled out. Yeah, they have. They voided it immediately. With Bostock going down, they voided the bet. So there you go. Same here, Game ML. Bloody Bostock having a nap. Bostock and two smoking barrels having a sleep down on the sideline, costing everybody their multis. Well, not costing, but you know what I mean. Costing a chance to win a multi. Dolphins back into Storm territory. Fuller with the pass out to Herbie. And the love bug goes down. 25 out from the Storm line on tackle 4. Tavita Pangai Jr. with his first touch. Gets an offload away with his first touch. And Max Plath is there. Asako back inside to Ray Stone. Fifth and last. 10 out in front of the post. They go right. Asako dummies the kick. Passes off to Nikarima, who puts the grubber kick through. There's a deflection off a Storm foot. And Sean Bloor races away. First touch that I've seen, DJ Shaq. So in my mind, it's still his first touch. It's how we roll. If Dan didn't see it, it didn't happen. Oh, by the way, we've still got to get your... we've still got to get your multi, I was going to say. Bingo. We've got to get the DJ Shaq bingo happening. I'd completely forgotten about it, to be honest. Hughes to Meany. Draws in the winger. Warbrick's outside. Passes back into an unmarked Tyron Wishart. And Tyron Wishart will score. And the Melbourne Storm have once again gone from their own side of halfway. Basically, long-range tries are the order of the night for the Melbourne Storm. Numbers on the edges. It was Christian Welsh first and foremost. And Warbrick put the foot down, drew in Trey Fuller, and Tyron Wishart unmarked. Plants it down under the post, and we're about to be all locked up again. 27 minutes gone in this one. This is a slow-moving game. Does anyone else get that feeling? Very, very slow-moving contest. Feels like. But it's been a good game. It's completely out of the ordinary that it would be moving so slow. Usually, the slow games are just the real shocking contests, the lopsided contests. But this has actually been a really entertaining game. It's just not moving along. Gamer Mel asks if Warbrick or Pappy get another one and Storm win. Your bet is still on. Your big bet. Nice. Nick Meaney converts. And we're all locked up at 12 points all. This game is starting to give off golden point vibes. I'm just going to throw that out there. There's a long way to go, of course. Long way to go. Still 12 minutes left in this half. And then, of course, another half to go. But I'm getting those vibes about it. You would probably have to say, in all honesty, that the Dolphins have been the better side so far. For the 28 and a half minutes, I think even the Melbourne Storm fans in the chat room would acknowledge. As Pappenhausen receives an offload, gets one of his own from the restart. Back to Wishart. Wishart in threat of a one-on-one strip. Slightly forward from dummy half there, and they get away with it, Melbourne. No, it's been called! Holy hell! Hell has frozen over, actually. A forward pass from dummy half has actually been called. You don't see that very often. And it's on tackle 1. And the Dolphins will have the ball back here, right in front of the posts, 12 metres out from the Melbourne Storm line. Absolutely incredible. Well, they've decided to have the scrum over on the sideline, well, 10 metres in from the sideline. You can't have a scrum on the sideline, of course. But as close to the sideline as possible, they might want to run a set-piece play out to the left, and that's what they do. Nikorima to Fuller. Fuller puts on the gas. And Trey Fuller has gone on his own and completely blitzed the outside defenders of the Melbourne Storm. And he scores under the post. Dolphins take full advantage of that mistake from the Storm. 16-12. They'd only just locked it back up, the Melbourne Storm. Set piece from the scrum, Nikorima using the decoy run of Herbie Farnworth, and the Storm have been caught completely outnumbered. I don't even understand how you get outnumbered when there wasn't even an uneven edge, if you know what I mean. The Dolphins decided to have the scrum 10 metres in from the near side touchline. You would think that would be the easiest position to number up in defence, but somehow the Dolphins created a massive overlap, and Trey Fuller used his pace and was able to take full advantage. I mean, I don't understand how this has happened. All right, first receiver is starting. Okay, Katoa pretty much stood 2 men out. Katoa is basically standing too wide, and that probably created the overlap. The Storm just weren't wise to it. They didn't number up. Nick Meaney jammed in when he really needed to stay out. His man was on the outside. Conversion successful from right in front, as you would expect. And I feel like I only just got through talking about we were all locked up. And now the Dolphins have reclaimed that 6-point lead, 18 points to 12. I'm trying to understand what created the mismatch that caused them to be moving backwards, DJ Shaq, though, is the thing. That's what I'm trying to get my head around. You would think that in the position that scrum was taken, it would have been the easiest position on the field to number up. But Katoa, all Katoa did was stand too wide. There was an invisible man on Katoa's inside, and the first Storm defender was marking up against the invisible man there. And that created the overlap. Because another offload here from Pangai Jr., and the Dolphins stretch it wide early in the tackle count. That's the third now, up to their own 40-metre line. Well and truly on the front foot here in this first half, the Dolphins, but only 6 points ahead on the scoreboard. Pangai Jr. again looking for the offload. Can't get the arms free this time. Plays the ball on the fifth and last. 40 out from Melbourne's line. Oh, it's explainable, DJ Shack. I will be, hang on, I'm going to add a stream marker if I can. Okay, apparently I can't. All right, let's try and remember this moment because I would love to get the telestrator out on that play. Because that's what I do. I overanalyze things. But yes, I would definitely love to have a look at that play with the telestrator. Fifth and last here for the Storm. Not a lot of distance made. Hughes puts it high. Taken by Trey Fuller. And the Dolphins, again, in good field position here. Melbourne just need to get to the halftime break. Cop their bollocking from Bellamy and see what they come up with in the second half. Pretty much is my thoughts anyway. Because at the moment, the Dolphins are just all over them. It's been a long time since I've seen a Melbourne Storm team just dominated like this. But there's still a whole half of footy to go as Max Plath stays down, playing for the penalty, I think. Fifth and last for the Dolphins. Katoa gets the kick down, taken by Warbrick on his own 10-metre line, and he's wrapped up by Bromwich. What the hell was Kenny Bromwich doing up there? A good kick chase. Nick Meaney in midfield. They've had to do it the hard way, the Storm. 2 long-distance tries have kept them in this contest, and that would have to give them serious hope as Wishart breaks from dummy half. Looking for a 6 again. Not incoming. Anderson breaks away from 1. Innocent Anglerfish says, good luck, Dolphins. Back to Jerome Hughes on the 5th and last. Gets the kick away. Straight down the throat there of Herbie Farnworth. And the Dolphins just continue this run of possession and territory. Quality ball in favour of the semi-home side. Asako nearly breaks through. Good run there from the winger. Marshall King from dummy half, up over halfway on the 4th. 16 is Ray Stone, takes another 10 metres. 5th and last. Katoa in midfield, 40 out from the Storm line, puts it high. It'll fall around the 10-metre mark, and Warbrick's under it again. They're peppering his edge. But he's safe and secure under the high ball at the moment. But again, look at the territory and the field position Melbourne forced to play from. But we have seen they can score tries from here. Plenty of time to go in this one, Gamer Mel. It's all good. They're going to cop an absolute bollocking from Craig Bellamy at half-time as Welsh gets an offload. Hughes will put the kick in on tackle 4. It's a little heavy. It gets a great bounce, though, for Warbrick. Warbrick puts the step on, gets the arm free. Back to Jerome Hughes. Beats the first tackle, puts the head down, goes for the try line. 3 Dolphins surround him, but Jerome Hughes still manages to plant the ball down. And just like that, Melbourne have produced another long-range effort. The kick from Jerome Hughes got the perfect bounce. Sits up for Will Warbrick. And the Dolphins were outnumbered from then on. That had no right to bounce back the way that it did. And Warbrick had no right to get his arms free. Both events happened And Jerome Hughes fights his way through 3 Dolphins defenders. Warbrick was setting himself up to have a leap over the sideline and try and bat the ball back in field. Jerome will be telling people in the dressing room after that he played for that. He's like, played for and got. No, I actually think he overcooked it. It's worked out more than all right, though, for Melbourne. They've gone long range again. All 3 of Melbourne's tries have been long-distance efforts. Just when you think they're down for the count, they revive like a zombie from the dead, says DJ Shaq. Nick Meaney from just to the right of the uprights puts it over, and we are all square once more. 18 all. And I've got to say, in all honesty, Melbourne, you can't really say they don't deserve it. That would be the wrong way of putting it. But the Dolphins have been, for 37 and a half minutes, the better of the 2 teams. We are potentially going into halftime all locked up. How does that happen? How has this eventuated? With 2 minutes left to the break, the Dolphins, a fantastic kickoff, as close as possible to the dead ball line. As close as possible to being out on the full. Christian Welsh, he has made a difference since he's come on the field. Come onto the field. No way I can say that without laughing. I'm sorry. Ollie is the best. Ahoy there, mate. Your girlfriend, Jakayla, says ahoy. Now, have you guys done the anniversary thing yet, or is that coming up? I remember the whole concept behind it. I just obviously don't remember the date. But then, it's not for me to remember the date, is it? A kick on tackle 4 again from Jerome Hughes. This one's high, straight down the field, and Trey Fuller's under it. With a minute to go till the halftime break, the Dolphins should have the last set. Oh, you did it? Excellent. How was it? Up towards halfway. Go the Dolphins. You just get that feeling they need the lead going into halftime, and they might have a shot here. A penalty to the Dolphins right out in front of the post. 50 meters out, though. This is legitimately on the halfway line, or just a meter or 2 inside Storm territory. But it is smack bang out in front, and this, I feel, is crucial. The Dolphins just mentally need the lead at the break. They have been so dominant in pretty much every facet of the game, but the scoreboard is all locked up. This could be a crucial 2 points going into the break, as they have indeed decided to take the 2, the Dolphins. And this will be the last play of the half. Jermaine Asako, an attempt to give the Dolphins the lead. They really do need it. It must be demoralizing for the Dolphins if they go into the sheds all locked up. A 2-point lead may seem measly and not really worth much, but I just feel mentally they need that head start into the second half. Time is up on the clock for this first half. Asako moves in, strikes it. Oh, he's got the distance, no worries. The distance was no problem. The direction, on the other hand, the direction was off to the left. And we go into halftime, 18 points all, and that The only way I can look at this is a win for the Storm in that first half. Even though that they've been dominated for large portions of it, going into the sheds all locked up, that's a little bit of a win for them. All right. Wasted World of Sports. Halftime here. I'm going to have myself a quick break and we'll be back to dissect that first half right after this. All right, Wasted World of Sports halftime. 18 points all. Who'd have thought? All right, how are we going? Ollie is the best says your friend Jonathan's birthday is tomorrow. Oh well, we will happy birthday Jonathan tomorrow. John O'Brien. That's great. Seriously. DJ Shack says, I think the Storm should inject Falongo into the game early in the second. They probably will. I feel like, just a sec. I feel like Pappenhausen might not, the plan might not be for the full 80 tonight. being his first game back and all. So they may just inject Faulongo very early in the second. Ellis Williams, ahoy mates. You believe Jerome Hughes is a genuine smoky for Dally M this year, especially with guys like Matt Munster and Pappenhausen out for periods of time. The only problem with that, Ellis, is that now Pappenhausen's back, Munster's going to be back. It's very, very difficult for players from these sorts of teams to win. The advantage goes to a superstar in a team of nobodies as opposed to a team full of superstars. So, but I mean, the way that he's going at the moment, he will certainly have racked up some points. But that to me is the problem with the Dally M system. Doesn't take into account, like, if you're the best player, this is the way I think it should work. If you're the best player in a team full of superstars, so if you've got a Cameron Munster or a Harry Grant or a Ryan Pappenhausen in your team, and you are still the standout player above those guys, clearly above those guys, that should be worth more than, say, a team like the Sharks. I'll use my Sharks as an example. I just feel better about using my Sharkies as an example when Nico Hines is the clear standout player in a team that's underperforming, so he gets all 3 points. I think it's obvious to understand what I'm trying to say here. The flaw, the very obvious flaw in the system. Richard Trainer says the pub just reset their TV. They got sick of me. How did you even manage that in the first place, Richard? I'm guessing it's like a private function room. So you sort of took over the input as part of the private function. Either that or I said something offensive. I would never do that. I would never do such a thing. Alana Ferguson is wearing probably one of the more bizarre outfits I've seen her wear. At the halftime break here, 18 points all, I would say, in all honesty. Oh, hang on. Did I run don't think I ran an ad at halftime. Oh, well. DJ Shaq says, I also think the inverse is true for Jareem Buller. Sonny Taruva won Rookie of the Year for the exact same reason that you're suggesting, where I would argue you take Buller out of the 2023 Tigers. They are not competitive at all. Oh, 2023, I had Jareem Buller as my Rookie of the Year. So, yeah, I think you're 100% correct, DJ Shaq. It's the for a Rookie of the Year, it certainly can fall on the opposite side of the spectrum in that respect. No, absolutely nothing against Sonny Taruva, but pretty much as average Joes sitting on their couches or standing in front of their TVs, as I do when I stream, I stand up constantly. But that's beside the point. But for us average Joes who like to have an opinion, we kind of go, all right, taking nothing away from Sonny Taruva, but put me at the end of that Panthers backline in 2023, and I'm probably having a breakout year as well. No, probably not. That might be a stretch too far. But you know what I'm suggesting. In 2023, Jareem Buller, hands down for me, was clear-cut Rookie of the Year. At the moment this year, it's not so dead set certain, in my opinion. But we'll see. Still plenty of time to go. Plenty of time to go for all these things coming up. Now, Richard might not still be there because they switched the TV off. So anyway, that's destroyed my halftime plan. My halftime plan was to ask if there was anybody there at the pub that I could particularly shout out or chat to. So that was plan one gone. Plan number two, though, I still need to ask Richard a question if he's there, because if I'm remembering correctly, there was a conversation with the old Panther about some sort of connection, brother, cousin, something to do with Super League. There was a name. I've forgotten the name. I feel like I'm doing goddamn what's that psychic's name? The TV psychic that claims to talk to the spirits. I'm getting a name. I just can't quite remember it. But we were having this conversation, the name, the Super League, and anyway, the reason I'm asking this question is because I feel like we might have found a trading card of said player, because the old Panther was going through the deck and he's like, hang on, is that the bloke that your mate on the chat Generations the other week was talking about? Said, I'm not sure, I don't remember. I barely remember yesterday. But anyway, halftime here, 18 points all. We did manage to get a tick off the multi, which is nice. That's always a good thing. We've got the cash back on the multi anyway, because Bostock had a little nap time on the sideline. He couldn't carry on. He had a little sleep on the sideline, Bostock, so he was ruled out. Robbie and Henry Paul. Okay. Robbie and Henry Paul. Yeah, okay. I think we got that wrong then. DJ Shaq says, by virtue of the fact that Eddie Jones is coaching Japan, that England versus Japan game has now turned into a grudge match. The precise reason, DJ Shaq, the precise reason why I'm covering it. I am making an extra special effort to drag my ass up at 10 a.m. in the morning to cover the England versus Japan Rugby International, just because of that reason. Because Eddie Jones is more than capable of lifting a Japanese team to an upset victory. We've seen it, goddammit. We've seen it happen with our own eyes at the Rugby World Cup when Japan defeated the Springboks. And it's just got that extra little layer with Eddie Jones' history with England. Eddie Jones is a great coach, man. Like, I know I'm getting off on a tangent. Here with rugby union. I understand that, but I can't. I just can't state enough just how good Eddie Jones actually is as a coach, and he will have that team up for it. He will have them up for this big time. I don't understand why it didn't work out when he came back to coach Australia. I really don't, apart from just the cattle available to him. Teams are back out for the second half here, though. We will worry about England versus Japan and the Super Rugby final later, because the teams are back out for the second half in this really engrossing contest. 18 points all between the Melbourne Storm and the Dolphins. And the second half is underway. Melbourne with the kickoff. It bounces up for Asako at the back, and the Dolphins have it. Our same game multi has been voided for tonight, but we're going to keep it up on the screen anyway. We'll keep it up on the screen just out of interest. Let's see how many legs we end up with. Despite the fact that Bostock's gone for the game early on, and we got the cash back. It was very interesting. DJ Shack, the documentary, Stan Sport did a documentary on Eddie Jones' return to the Wallabies as Katoa gets the kick away for the Dolphins. Grant Anderson moves forward, leaps unnecessarily probably to take the high ball, but he was secure in doing so, so it's all good. I just feel like the way that documentary was put together kind of painted Eddie in a bad light. It kind of painted the picture as if he was disinterested, and they ran with the story of he was having the secret meetings with the Japanese rugby and whatnot, but I feel like there was more to it. I don't know, obviously I wasn't there, but I just feel like there was more to it. As the Storm break away down the far wing and wrapped up and caught in a high tackle is Grant Anderson down that flank, or Jack Howarth. Wishart puts it into touch, and this will be a full set of 6 now. The second half has started intensely here for the Storm. They are 10 out from the line, a full set of 6. Short side they go. Crash ball for Sean Bloor. He's wrapped up. 2 meters out. Tackle 2. A golden opportunity here for Melbourne early in the second. Hughes in midfield. The inside ball to Katoa. That's the third. They go open side. Dummy in as Josh King goes on his own. A metre short on the fourth. They stay on the left. Wishart gets away from the first tackle. Offloads to Hughes. Hughes will kick on the fourth. Crossfield. Looking for Will Warbrick, who bobbles the ball. Gets it on the second attempt and plants it down. Big Will Warbrick scores in the corner, and Melbourne have exploded in this second half. There is absolutely nothing that lifts a team quite like an ass-whooping from Craig Bellamy at halftime. And 3 minutes in, Melbourne have gone length of the field, basically, from when they had the ball, a piggyback with a penalty, and they've scored the try in the corner for Will Warbrick, who had Big Will in their multi. Pretty sure Michelle did. Oh, DJ Shack, talking about coaches back in the juniors. Yeah, sometimes. I remember one day we were playing on Lang Park. All the schools got together and we were doing like this special tournament at Lang Park. And I just remember I got absolutely blasted by the coach. He's just, because in my mind, I hadn't even done anything wrong. In my mind. So anyways, the opposition scored a try, and we're wandering back behind the posts, and the coach has just pointed at me, and is like, do you want a pillow? Get up on him. And I'm just thinking, like, what have I done or not done in this instance? Like, I didn't even realize that. Okay, well, I'm getting singled out here. It's like, you want a pillow? Get up on him. Oh, yeah, see, I don't think you could do that anymore. I think if it were 2024 and young Dan was still young Dan in 2024, I reckon in this snowflake society that we live now, coach wouldn't have been allowed to say that. I would have complained. I would have complained and said I was offended. Anyway, conversion missed from Nick Meaney from out wide. Melbourne have taken a 4-point lead, though. Enough stories about my childhood. There's a game to call. And it's Melbourne fighting their way back up towards halfway. Quick play the ball. Christian Welsh loses the ball in contact. And the Dolphins will have it on 0 tackle on halfway. Great field position. Once again, Melbourne score points, fail to complete, and give the Dolphins an opportunity to hit straight back. DJ Shaq, you remember a coach of yours actually got sacked for that exact reason. There you go. There you go. See, things were a little bit different back then. Yeah, they were allowed to give us a serving, make us do laps. I remember one of my coaches was like, any missed tackle, if you missed a tackle, it was 10 laps around the oval. There was one kid who it was just not physically possible. They couldn't make him do it. There was just so many. Anyway, Katoa, the inside ball to Fuller. Fuller puts the step on. Puts the afterburners on, but they just wrap him up. He gets the offload back to Bromwich. It's the 5th and last. Marshall King to Katoa in midfield. Katoa puts the kick through. Pappenhausen loses it forward. Pangai Jr. loses it forward as well. It's a double knock on. And it'll be Dolphins ball back. Ryan Pappenhausen a little over enthusiastic. He wants to challenge it. Well, I've got to say, from first watch, this is just a waste of a challenge. He seems confident, though, Pappy. He seems extremely confident. As DJ Shaq says, a nice little bit of trivia. That's the Storms. What is that? 3,000th try collectively? 3,000. Yeah. So they've captain challenged this, the Melbourne Storm. It feels like a little bit of a challenge of hope. Oh! It's a penalty, Melbourne. Okay, so they weren't challenging the knock-on. They were challenging something in the lead-up to the knock-on, and they've been successful in that challenge. It's turned into a penalty for the Storm. Anyway. An obstruction call, penalty to Melbourne. And that's a huge hit from Pangai Jr. They've taken offense to it, have the Storm. They have taken offense to this hit from Pangai Jr. He has raced out of the line as Pangai put on a huge hit. Was it legal? I thought it was on first viewing. Well, he was offside is what... Yes, it's a perfectly legitimate hit. But he was about 44 metres offside when he made the tackle. So I don't understand why they're firing up the Melbourne Storm. That was just a good, solid hit. I would actually penalise that player there from the Melbourne Storm for running in after a perfectly legitimate hit from Pangai Jr. Well, the tackle itself was the tackle itself was fair. He was just about 74 metres offside. That was the problem. You miss Cameron Smith. He is the best NRL in the world. NRL referee, you mean? He was a great referee, was Cameron Smith. But anyway, penalty to Melbourne here. The kick into touch. We'll see them play the ball now on tackle 1. 35 out from the Dolphins line in midfield. Welsh up the middle, wrapped up. Tackle 2. Hughes in midfield, dummies, goes on his own. The James says whales have fingers in their fins. Oh, they've lost the ball here. Melbourne called penalty for a late tackle. They've got an opportunity here to take the 2. The missed conversion from Nick Meaney out wide will be nullified. To give 2 points, they may wish to keep the pressure on. Who's the captain? Jerome Hughes. Okay, it's up to Jerome Hughes. Will they take the 2? Yes, they will. They are taking the 2 here, the Storm. Nullifying that missed conversion from Nick Meaney earlier. It's a give 2-pointer. Still lining it up here is Nick Meaney. Taking his time. Puts it over. And the Storm lead this. 24 points to 18. Back underway after those points. Melbourne leading 24 points to 18. 50 minutes gone in this contest. Storm go back up towards halfway. Wishart, dummies. Goes on his own. I missed it, DJ Shaq. Josh King puts the head down, takes the 5th and last in midfield. 40 out. Hughes high into the corner. Contestable kick, this one. Pressure on the Dolphins to the back. They've lost it forward. Hughes collects the ball, loses it himself. It'll be a double knock on. First one, Dolphins. Melbourne. Oh, Warbrick has pulled up here. Potential hamstring. Potential hemi. Maybe just a cramp. You would hope for the Melbourne Storm just a cramp for Big Will. As Pangai Jr. comes off for a rest. Scrum down for Melbourne. 10 out from the line. Hughes, flat pass right onto the chest of Nick Meaney, who nearly goes through. Just brought down by the bootlace. Hughes again in midfield. The ball right off the hip to Josh King, and Josh King will score. Melbourne, here they go. They have started this second half. Nothing quite like a Craig Bellamy bollocking, huh? They have been brought to life at the break. And this second half has been all Melbourne. 28 points to 18, the kick to come. The Dolphins defender had raced up so far, he was practically at the other end of the field. There was a huge gap for Josh King. Try time Melbourne, they're looking good now. Gamer Mel it was. Gamer Mel, who posted in the first half that she hopes the second half is better than the first. It certainly has started that way. 13 minutes in. And it's been all Melbourne in this second half. From just to the left of the posts. Conversion successful from Nick Meaney. And Melbourne lead this 30 points to 18 suddenly. And it comes back to, I suppose, the conversation that we were having at the halftime break about how important it was for the lead. The Dolphins were so dominant. The Dolphins probably needed to score tries with that level of ease in the first half to have a comfortable enough lead to go into this second. Dolphins get us underway, and it is Pappenhausen who feeds it on to Christian Welsh. There is Gamer Mel, very excited now, a party-centric Gamer Mel. So Gamer Mel, when I do my Wasted World of Sports tour in late August, early September, I'll be coming down to Sydney for South by Southwest this year as well. But for my Wasted World of Sports Sydney Melbourne tour, I'm just wondering, I'm curious to know, is there any like cup stacking competitions going on that I could cover? I feel like Wasted World of Sports needs to be live at the venue for a cup stack. Well, right now, apparently, I suppose. Oh, the offload to Plath. They've got numbers to burn here, the Dolphins, but they spill the ball just over the halfway line. They panicked a little bit. The Dolphins are starting to play catch-up footy, and the mistakes are creeping in. They had numbers to burn. They had about a 37-on-1 overlap to the right. But they rushed the play and made the mistake. Giuseppe N. Ahoy there from Italy. Giuseppe, ahoy, mate. How you doing? Italy. Do we know any famous Italian rugby league players? James Tedesco and his athletically sized ass. 25 out from the line, hit the Storm. They stay short side. Nick Meaney wrapped up on the fifth and last, 10 metres out. Fire away, DJ Shaq. Numbers to burn out to the left. The crossfield kick from Hughes goes into the hands of Asako. Asako breaks away upfield. Pappenhausen is flying across in cover defense. 20 out from the line. 10 out. Pappenhausen is there, but he can't make the tackle. Has Asako lost it? Asako's bounced over the line to score. A length of the field effort for the Dolphins. Pappenhausen with his best effort. Has he done it? We need a replay. Looking at it live, it seems like Asako has scored a length of the field effort. Pappenhausen, though, pumped the gas. The crossfield kick from Jerome Hughes didn't find the target. It found Asako. And Asako only had to beat a prop, Josh King. But racing across is Pappenhausen. 20 out, 10 out. Pappenhausen gets him and Asako bounces over the line to score. Jermaine Asako is another tick on the multi as well, by the way. Was Minicello, Anthony Minicello, was he an Italian player as well, or does he just happen to have an Italian-sounding name? Bounce in over the line to score. The Dolphins hit back 30 points to 22. With the conversion to come, is Osako going to be in any shape to take the conversion? Yes, apparently. He's lining it up. Yeah, Anthony Minicello. It's actually a friend of Michelle's that I met at one of the Origin nights, who was a huge Anthony Minicello fan. She didn't know squat about anything else other than Anthony Minicello. It was quite a hilarious conversation. This is like, oh, I don't really know. I haven't watched since Anthony Minicello. I was in love with Anthony Minicello, she says. I'm like, oh, fair enough. Did you like anybody did you follow anybody else at the during Anthony Minicello's era? No, just loved Anthony Minicello. Craig Gower played for the Italian Rugby League. Oh, Rugby Union team. Rugby Union. Craig Gower. I wonder how he managed that. The conversion was unsuccessful from Jermaine Osako from the sideline. It remains 30 points to 22 here. 58 minutes, 40 seconds gone in this contest, which has been, I mean, anyone who had overs, congratulations. 52 points have been scored in this game. So far. I mean, there's still a quarter of the game to go. There's plenty of time for more points. And I dare say we will see more points. The Dolphins, they have the upper hand at the moment. Pappenhausen, though, secures the ball from the kick, diffuses the threat. And Melbourne have the ball back, but the Dolphins have gone up a gear here. Maybe even two. Flat pass from dummy half to Grant Anderson. And Anderson's carpets takes us up to the 40-metre line. Good run from Sean Blaw. They're up to halfway. Playing the ball to nobody. Bronson Garlick was very slow in getting into dummy half there for that play the ball. Fifth and last for Melbourne. Jerome Hughes from 40 out will put the ball high. It's contestable. Flying through is Katoa. Katoa claims the high ball, but he's wrapped up. And this will be a handover. 10 out from the Dolphins line. "20 minutes remain. This is still anybody's contest. I would dare say, though, that if Melbourne score next, they would go on to win quite comfortably as Marshall King finds some space around the ruck. Third tackle here, Dolphins. Doing the hard yards out of their own end and doing it well. Nichols takes the fourth, just shy of the halfway line. From dummy half again, Marshall King. "40 out. Katoa down to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen jumps, takes it. Melbourne have the ball back. They've just gone into their shell a little bit here, the Storm. Here we go. Faulongo has been injected. DJ Shack, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Faulongo has just entered the chat. Tackle 4 for the Storm. Inside Dolphins territory. Pappenhausen in at dummy half. Just a one-out play there for Liero. Nothing much happening there. Fifth and last. Hughes will put it high to the corner. No pressure at the back on Fuller. Fuller does well to take it. Giuseppe says our national rugby team used to always win the wooden spoon in the Six Nations tournament, but are playing better now. Definitely. I mean, we here on the Waste of Water Sports, we covered the Six Nations for the very first time last year, 2023. Hang on. Yeah, 2023, wasn't it? We did the Six Nations, and I very much look forward to covering it again. Italy were very put on some very good performances. Fifth and last here for the Dolphins on halfway. Katoa high, not a lot of distance. A lot of height, though. And the Storm let it bounce. This could bounce absolutely anywhere. Jerome Hughes goes in to make a play at it, and he gives away 6 more tackles. The Dolphins have it. 20 out from the Storm line. 30 out, actually. Now it's 20 with that run from Nichols on tackle 2. Jerome Hughes, he might want to take that play back. Nikorima to Fuller. Fuller gets on the inside of one defender, passes it out to Osako, who cuts back in field, and he's chopped down. 10 out from the line on tackle 3. Nikorima at first receiver, runs across the face of the post, links up with Katoa. Katoa out to Avarillo, puts the step on, can't fool Nick Meaney, and that's the 4th. From dummy half, Ewan Aitken goes on his own, 5th and last, a metre out here, the Dolphins. Back it goes for Katoa. Crossfield kick. It's into the end goal. It's perfectly placed. It's tapped back from the Dolphins. They keep it alive. It's loose in midfield. Dolphins keeping it alive. Katoa gets a second kick away, and it's straight down the throat of Pappenhausen, who's now caught high. No penalty for the high shot, but it's Melbourne ball. Valongo from dummy half. Takes it up to the 30-metre line. He thought he found some space. Wishart will dummy and go on his own. They're racing through this set, the Storm. Karma Chameleon now wrapped up by 3 Dolphins defenders. Dolphins have fought their way back into this contest momentum-wise, but they don't have the luxury of the scoreboard pressure as Hughes. Jerome Hughes gets the kick away. And it will go into touch inside the Dolphins' 20. And that will just give the Storm defense an opportunity to relax and reset here. And we can all calm down a little bit, I suppose. We can all have a little bit of a rest and relax. Ahoy there, how we go? Okay, here we go. Good luck to me, and I apologize in advance because I know that I'm going to butcher my attempt at saying this name, but I'm going to try because that's what I do. Tarua. A mistake from the Dolphins here early in the tackle count. They will challenge it surely, and they do. Captain's challenge. Tarua. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sure I'm not. Anyway, Ryan first, second, third. Got him on second. Let's go. Jerome Hughes anytime. Warbrick anytime. And Jermaine as well. Well, I suppose the good news is that Warbrick and Osako have both already scored. So what do you need? You got Ryan first, second, or third. You need Jerome Hughes. Yeah, I think you probably just need Jerome Hughes now. Because Warbrick and Jermaine Osako have already scored. All right, so we'll be cheering on Jerome Hughes anytime try scorer. If I'm understanding this multi correctly. Jerome Hughes has already scored too. Hang on. So you've won the multi already. Ryan Pappenhausen, first, second, or third try scorer. Jerome Hughes. Warbrick anytime. And Jermaine Asako. So you've already hit the multi. Oh, you just need Storm to win. Okay, all right. Let's go, Storm. I tipped the Storm in the Waste of Water Sports tipping contest, so we can very happily cheer on the Storm as Wishart breaks away from dummy half. And the Storm are half a metre out here. Flat pass across the face of the post to Nelson. Nelson takes tackle 5. Hughes out the back to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen grubbers into the end goal. And Trey Fuller was a little bit lackadaisical at the back there. But perhaps he saw that the penalty was incoming. And the Dolphins do get a penalty. An obstruction runaround play there from the Storm. Big penalty there for the Dolphin. And they will take tackle 1 now on the halfway line. A chance to attack. Nichols gains another 10 metres. He always gains 10 metres off a run. Hamish McKenzie, the past 6 months you've been logged out of your tabs on Google, opened the performance and you've got no RAM left and no idea how to upgrade anything in this hunk of junk. Those Chrome tabs, I can tell you firsthand, mate. Even though I'm running a computer setup that NASA would be proud of, I can tell you, mate, those Google Chrome tabs take up a lot of memory. A ridiculous amount of memory for each Chrome. Like, it's actually my biggest complaint about. Oh, you've only got 2 open. Okay. Well, I'm talking more like the 20 or 30 that I have open. Faulongo now bursts straight up the middle. He puts the step on. He goes up over halfway. Gets up, goes again. Releases the offload to Nick Meaney. And there is the injection of pace that Faulongo brings, creating a difference. Wishart from dummy half, sorry, not marker. Wishart from dummy half, the inside ball to Warbrick. It's the Storm on the attack again, 5th and last. Jerome Hughes runs, gets the pass back to Pappenhausen. Pappy out the back to Liero, and they must surrender. They got all tangled up there, the Storm. And they must surrender on that play. 5th and last now, 10 metres out. Hughes in midfield. Puts the crossfield kick in, looking for Warbrick, but it's too heavy, and it's taken in the end goal by Jake Avarillo. 7 tackles set here for the Dolphin. I can only imagine that there's some headsets or something being thrown across the room by Craig Bellamy up in the coach's box right now. Oh, it looks like Kenny Bromwich has broken his wrist. Oh, he had a head contact. Friendly fire from Isaiah Katoa. That'll be a HIA for Kenny Bromwich. 10 minutes to go in the match, though. 8 points the difference, and it's the Dolphins on the attack. Katoa to Nikarima. They've got numbers to the right. If they can get the ball out, they do. Herbie Farnworth, though, cuts back in field. As the sliding defense of the Storm numbers up. Faulongo now on Asako. Brings him down. 5th and last. 30 metres out from Melbourne's line. Katoa puts it high. Contestable kick is taken by the Dolphins. It's taken by Lemuelu. Has he lost the ball, Lemuelu? I'll tell you what he has done. He's broken his shoulder. He's reached out. Has he scored the try? He has busted his shoulder in the process. It might be a dislocation. Probably more likely a dislocation than a break. The way he reached out and plants the ball down, he has outleapt Ryan Pappenhausen for the high ball. Lemuelu, a second rower, has outjumped Ryan Pappenhausen. Oh, he's planted it down. You've got to give him that one. You've got to give him this. This will... Oh, he's lost it. No, he's got no control over that ball. It's gone up as a try, but in fairness, he's got no control over this. His arm goes to the side. He gets it over the line, but there can surely be no control over that ball. And just to add insult to injury, he's dislocated his shoulder. That's no try. So close, yet so far for Connolly Lemuelu. This will be no try, and he's also busted his shoulder. Oh, that's rough. This game is rough. Let's see if I can say this correctly. Proud, we are jury boys. And I really, truly apologize if I'm getting that horribly wrong. But we are jury boys. The best fullback of all time is Greg Inglis. Best fullback of all time, Gary Belcher. No try. And the Storm will have the tap 20 metres out from their own line. Going length of the field, though, has proved no problem for the Storm tonight, though. Leading by 8 inside the last 10 minutes. Nelson puts the head down, charges forward, up over the halfway line. Big Nelson. In midfield, Josh King. Another 10 metres for the Storm. Tackle 4. 40 out from the Dolphins line. Hughes with the inside ball to Katoa. Katoa cuts back to the outside. Fifth and last. They stay on the short side. Hughes kicks towards the middle. Contestable kick. Lost by the Storm. And it falls back for Pappenhausen. Claiming a 6 again there, Pappenhausen. He wants a captain's challenge, does Pappy? You may as well, I suppose. No, I completely appreciate that. Proud Witter Jury boys. I completely appreciate that, and that's why I was so concerned about getting it horribly wrong. I've actually, yeah, my dog was actually named Allura. Is still her name. I mean, that's the actual... I pronounce it Allura because that's just my natural tongue. But Illoura is what I actually named her. Allura is the correct pronunciation, as I'm led to believe, which has quite significant meaning. And, yeah, here she is. Here she is, this gentle little princess, huh? But, yeah, Allura is how I pronounce it, but Allura is the proper technical pronunciation, isn't it? Eh? And you love your name. You have no idea, do you? Ah. Captain's challenge unsuccessful for the Melbourne Storm there. And the Dolphins have possession. .40 metres out from their own line on tackle 2. Dolphins have got numbers. 3-on-2 overlap if they use it. And they do release Asako down the wing, but Longo with the pace. What a difference maker pace is to the game of rugby league. Asako Had acres of space there, but Faulongo was able to race across and shut him down. Nichols in midfield. 20 out. Marshall King from dummy half has a dart. Fifth and last. 8 points the difference. Katoa slightly off the side of the boot. Asako with the ball. Throws it back in field to Lemuelu, and Lemuelu loses it. How is he still on the field? Connolly Lemuelu, how is he still on the field after busting his shoulder so badly? Knocked on first by Melbourne, says the referee. He is still favouring that shoulder as well. Yes, it's been knocked down by Faulongo and then lost by the Dolphins. This is a good call from the referee. 7 minutes remain, 8 points the difference. The Dolphins will have a full set of 6, scrum down 10 metres out. Remember what happened last time they had a scrum 10 out. Here's Katoa, pops it off the hip to Pangai Jr., who's back on. Midfield, 10 out. Josh Kerr, 2 metres out on the crash ball. Tackle 2. Dolphins, they go left. Bromwich, Jesse, dummies, gets wrapped up. They're up on him quickly. Too close to the try line here. Marshall King to Kerr again for his second hit. They release it right. Nicarima steps back left though. Runs towards the post. Pappenhausen puts him down. Fifth and last. Katoa in midfield. Crossfield kick. Perfectly positioned. But up there Gazali goes Will Warbrick. And Will Warbrick, he's hurt himself. He's cramped. Will Warbrick has cramped, but he's gone up there. Gazali taking the high ball. Melbourne have it. 5 out from their own line. The Storm are under the pump here at the back end of this game. The Dolphins, you feel like they're finishing stronger. But the Storm took full value out of their periods of ascendancy. The Dolphins didn't wrestled away their one-on-one strip from Lemuelu. That'll be a knock-on. He reefed it out towards the Melbourne goal line. How is he doing this with a busted shoulder? He is still out there on the field, Lemuelu, and he's doing one-on-one strips with a busted shoulder. Incredible. Amazing effort. Win, lose, golden point draw. Amazing effort from Connolly Lemuelu tonight. It must be said. Hats off to him. Big scrum there from the Dolphins. I can't believe I'm saying that in a game of rugby league. Nelson down the short side. Inside the last 5 minutes. Oh, I'll tell you what, these cards, big run there from Grant Anderson. Check these cards that I picked up. Check this out. Hang on, I'll show you in a second. Cut out pass from Hughes. It's on the target for Will Warbrick, but he spills the ball. Hey, I'll show you this. I think this is really cool. So I picked up this pristine in plastic sheets 1995 card collection, yeah? 188 Anthony Mundine rookie card. 1995 Anthony Mundine rookie card. How good is that? That is fabulous. Dolphins with the ball. 4 minutes remain. 8 points the difference. Dolphins, they must score off these next couple of sets. Keeping the ball alive. Nichols has it in midfield. They're over halfway here, the Dolphins. Katoa out the back to Nicarima. To Avarillo, who beats the first tackle and then releases it out to Ewan Aiken. Ewan Aiken Gets the step back in field. Links up with Katoa. They've got numbers out to the right, but Marshall King steps back in midfield. They're 15 out on tackle 3. Change of direction here from Nicarima. Back to Katoa. Avarillo dummies out to the left. Runs back towards the post. Fires the offload back for Josh Kerr. And Kerr will take the tackle. No, he won't. He offloads as well. The ball is still alive. Jesse Bromwich is 5 out from the line. Opportunity still knocking here for the Dolphins. Tackle 4. Katoa to Nicarima. Inside ball. And well wrapped up and put on his back there is Lemuelu. How is he still out there? Seriously. 5th and last. Nicarima, nowhere to go. Pops it back to Avarillo. Avarillo gets the grubber kick in. Faulongo collects it and then races away across the field and goes straight through Faulongo, but it's called a penalty for obstruction. Faulongo was away under the post, collecting the ball from his own end goal. Faulongo has run behind the posts, created a gap for himself, I thought, and was going to go the length of the field to win the game for his team, but it's called obstruction. He's run behind Jerome Hughes, and the Dolphins have milked the absolute bollocks out of it, in fairness. A penalty to the Dolphins. They will surely take the 2 here to make it a 6-point ball game. They've got to score twice. They are taking their 2. Smart decision. Take the 2, receive the kickoff, try to go length of the field to tie it up. Asako will put this over quickly. Over it goes. It's 30 points to 24. And we have got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to decide this contest. Intense finish to this contest. 2 minutes remaining. The Dolphins have collected the kickoff. Tackle 2, 20 out from their own line. They go short side. They catch the Storm napping. Quick play the ball. Dolphins. Can they send it to Golden Point? Nicarima steps back in field on halfway. Wrapped up on tackle 4. A minute and a half to go. Marshall King to Katoa. The Storm have reset and numbered up. Offload, second phase play. Got to be aware of this. Bromwich tries to get the arms free. 5th and last. Katoa will go on a run to Nicarima. Out the back to Fuller. Fuller steps through. He beats the first tackle. Fires the pass out wide to Asako, who cuts back in field, and Asako is half a centimetre short of the try line. And Melbourne get there in numbers and hold him up and keep him short. And this will be a turnover with a minute to play. A try-saving tackle by about 4 Storm defenders. But Trey Fuller has nearly pulled off a miracle here. Stepping back inside Nelson. Looking outside. Asako was unmarked. But 1, 2, 3, 4 Storm defenders race across and shut him down. Storm have lost it. Melbourne lose it on tackle 1 and the Dolphins have it back. 10 metres out. Nicarima to Katoa. They spread it wide to the left. It's been knocked down by Melbourne. 6 more tackles for what it's worth, but they've lost distance. They should have just surrendered that, perhaps, the Dolphins. 10 seconds remain. They're 20 metres out from the line. Oh, they've got numbers to burn out to the right if they can get some second phase play. This is it. The last play of the game. Cut out pass to Nikorima. Nikorima goes straight through. Keeps the ball alive. Back to Nichols. Nichols in front of the post. Fires it across. It's loose out the back and Faulongo gets it. Faulongo has it for the Storm. And that will be the match. What a dramatic finish. Melbourne have come to Suncorp Stadium, the semi-home of the Dolphins. And they've secured a 6-point victory, but that went down to the wire. They have given the Dolphins every opportunity possible. What a match. What an intense finish. The finish was way more intense than it probably deserved to be. And the Storm temporarily at least claim top spot on the live ladder. Oh, they did everything possible to lose it, didn't they, DJ Shaq? That was an insane finish. And Lemuelu, his shoulder is completely busted now. He is favouring it big time. He can't even shake hands with people at the moment. Credit to him for pushing on through the pain. It's amazing, isn't it, what adrenaline will do? Adrenaline, right? Because Lemuelu, in that attempted try-scoring effort, busted his shoulder quite clearly. He played on for the rest of the match. As soon as that full-time whistle sounds, he suddenly can't lift his shoulder. He can't even lift his shoulder now to shake hands with the Melbourne Storm players. He's using his other hand. He's doing the backwards high fives. He's doing the backwards slaps. It's amazing what adrenaline does. As soon as that whistle sounded and the game was over, he realized the pain and the injury. And now he can't lift his shoulder again. But he was doing one-on-one strips and offloads, and it's incredible. Absolutely amazing effort from Connolly Lemuelu. A 6-point ball game. 30 points to 24. The Storm have held on and got the victory over the Dolphins here. Bombflick says almost choked. They did their absolute best to throw it away at the end there, Melbourne. I tipped the Storm to win this, but I kind of found myself cheering on the Dolphins at the end there. We wanted that to go on even longer. We wanted that match to carry on even further. Anyways, I'll tell you, going back to my new card collection here. My new card collection here is here here I feel it's an extremely, like, I wouldn't necessarily say an underrated player, but a player that probably doesn't get the amount of love and respect that he deserves. I'll find the card here. There we go. Okay. A player who doesn't quite get in my opinion, never quite got the love and respect that he deserves. As I'll put it on a bigger screen here. Here we go. The Warriors. Here's the Warriors card. Phil Blake, yeah? Phil Blake, a superstar in my eyes. It's interesting here, these Warriors cards, the MVP, Brandy Alexander. Brandy Alexander, huh? People forget sometimes that Brandy Alexander played for the Warriors for a period of time there. All right, DJ Shaq, you've got some topics of conversation, huh? Or a topic of conversation. as the Melbourne Storm have held on for the victory here. 30 points to 24. They have claimed it over the Dolphins. As I said, a semi-home game for the Dolphin. Semi-home? What kind of board games do I like? Oh, okay. Well, when I was little, and I probably still do, it's just like video games evolved and sort of took over. But I still have a respect and admiration for a good sports board game. And that's what I was saying. Like, Michelle and I should absolutely 100% do the NBA Jam board game that I've got in pristine condition in the cupboard in my spare room there. NBA Jam board game. We've got a State of Origin Rugby League board game that we showed off on the Generations vodcast one week. That is just test match. The old test match cricket. You used to set the board up, set the fielders, and the old you pull it back and swing through to bat. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the old test match cricket. There is a State of Origin board game, DJ Shack. Hold your horses, mate. Yeah, I'm telling you, like the old Panther and I got this one out on a Generations vodcast. The if anyone's interested, the Wasted Water Sports channel, the Generations vodcast, there's an episode all about merchandising. And part of the merchandising, we were talking about games and how the games have evolved. But yeah, the rugby league State of Origin football game, board game. So that's been sitting out there too. That's something that, because I know Michelle loves a good board game as well. So we could actually have like a dedicated board games night. So I'm not exactly going to do like a full. I'm not going to do like a full unboxing or anything, but like here, for example, is just part of the game board. This isn't really working, but yeah, here's for example, like here's part of the game board. I'm not going to unfold the entire thing. The entire thing basically takes up a table. So I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but that's just a glimpse of the game board. And here, a little glimpse at the pieces, which are very, very small. But here, obviously, is this is... I can't see. This is... It looks like this is Queensland... number 6. So this would be Cameron Munster or Tom Dearden. So yeah, they actually had like little sort of human-ish kind of pieces. Yeah, so no, some great stuff. So those are sort of like my childhood board games that are sports related. There's also a cricket one. The cricket one was a lot of fun. And it was a combination, DJ Shack, it's a combination dice card game. Because you would roll the dice, but then you would select certain types of cards, right? So For example, like based on the dice roll, certain things would happen. So, there's things like, okay, a general play card. Okay, so if certain things happen, you've got a general play card. You've got penalty cards. You've got scrum cards. So you make the dice roll, you make your moves, and then you get a card based on that. And so the card is split in two. So the card is split in two, and there are directions for the attacking team, directions for the defending team. So in this particular instance, whatever happened on the game board, you made your roll, you made your move, this card gets drawn, which is a general play card. So the attacking team, if passing, you may pass the ball to any player onside, and he may go 16 meters or 16 spaces. If running, you may move 14 meters. The defending team may move 18 meters. So that's the sort of stuff that happens. It's a dice roll, and then it's a card draw. I'll read out a penalty card. So if you get a penalty card, oops, I've just dropped a thing there. There are penalty cards. Somewhere. I mean, there's no order to this at the moment. I've got absolutely no order to anything in here at the moment. The thing that I find amusing, though, is there's actually a scrum card. So the scrum card, for example, now back when this game was made, there were actually contested scrums, I'm sure. So here, one scrum card is, if you draw this card, differential penalty to you. The opposing hooker is penalised for a loose arm in the scrum. You cannot have a kick at goal. For some reason, you can't take the two, but you do earn the penalty. So yeah, as I said, I'm not going to go through everything, but we should definitely in the off season have like games nights just to keep content for the channel rolling over. In terms of video games, Rugby League Live 4, I've played a lot of. I do quite enjoy. I also enjoy I love management games. Like we've spoken about it on Discord, DJ Shack. I love my sports management games, the rugby management games, but I also like F1 Manager. So yeah, I'm quite a big fan of sports games. I mean, I don't even follow soccer, but I play those FIFA Manager games. In terms of non-sports related games, my favorites when I was growing up was a Cluedo. Loved Cluedo. Cluedo, the Great Museum Caper. Other classic games. Scrabble, I prefer to play electronically, so like online, and because then you don't have to keep up with the scoring and whatnot. Game of Life. The Game of Life as well is one I prefer electronically. You don't have to think about. Richard Trainer says, Dan, you can be the manager and I'll be the trainer. Well, I actually reckon that it would be a good lot of fun to do a manager series, right? A manager series where the chat room is very heavily involved in the decision making. DJ Shack says Game of Life is the only game where you actually make a profit from having kids. Yeah, the Game of Life is really not a game of life, is it? It's really not realistic at all in a life respect. Yeah, the thing. Yeah. What joke, Richard? Richard Trainer says, "Come on, Dan, that was mad joke. I must have missed the joke. What have I missed?" I feel like I must have missed something. Oh, hang on. Are you talking about I can be the manager and you'll be the trainer because you're Richard Trainer? I honestly didn't even realize that it was a joke aimed at your name. I really didn't. I thought you were being legitimate and I was agreeing. I feel like there's a little bit of a potential who's on first scenario. Who's on first? DJ Shack says, do rugby games have dev traits in players? Yeah, but yes, well, we didn't really get too in depth on Discord that night, did we? Now by development traits, I'm assuming you mean like, do particular players develop certain aspects of their game faster than others? Glass ceiling, that sort of stuff. If I'm understanding the question correctly and that's what you mean, then yes. And it's completely random as well. Like, well, the game that I play anyway is completely random. Because in some of my playthroughs, DJ Shack, for example, in some of my playthroughs, I would start during the Dan Carter era, the Dan Carter, Richie McCaw era. And for those of you who have been around for that long to remember and have followed along, there was a player, I believe he was the fly half for the Highlanders at the time, and he was just a fringe player. He was always just a fringe player. Cameron McIntyre was the number 10 for the Highlanders, and he was a fringe All Black, but he was always like second or third in line. Dan Carter was the number 1. But what I'm talking about with this game being random in its generation of stats is I had a playthrough once where Cameron McIntyre led the All Blacks to back-to-back World Cup glory, and Dan Carter couldn't even get out of like club level reserves. So, yeah, there's no like real world data in these things. It was a complete randomly generated algorithm database, and so you got these really cool. And it was really cool to play because you got those scenarios where, like, Cameron McIntyre was always the fringe guy who never quite broke through. And in my playthrough, back-to-back number 10 All Black leading the team to glory in World Cups. So it makes things really interesting. Yeah, McIntyre, it's not so much an X-factor development, but there's a glass ceiling in the stats that's randomly generated. And depending on how you approach the game, depending on the value of your coaches and your trainers, it all contributes. It all works together to contribute to just how far you push through that glass ceiling. Yeah, they're really quite involved. The games are really quite involved. Yeah. No, Richard, Tony Brown. Nathan Brown was the St. George player. DJ Shack says, what would be the most important stat for a fly half 5/8? Well, I can tell you that when I played the game, I focused on the kicking stat because everything else could be developed. So, because the way I played the game, I had a very basic game plan to my coaching style when I play these games. Kick long, challenge line out. So if I would base, and it's a little bit of a flaw in the game itself, a little bit of a how would you say? I guess a little bit of a logic loop, because I would just have like a gun kicker at fly half. I would have an outside center who had just amazing like Lomu style power stat. And I would have locks who were able to pretty much win 90% of line-out ball. So I would get myself in scenarios where I had like a 100% kicker who would just thump the bollocks off the ball upfield, force a line out, have my locks who were completely overpowered, challenge every line-out throw, and we would win like 90% of line-out ball. Fire it off to the inside center, who would just burst through and create space. And I would poach Fijian wingers because you could actually send scouts out worldwide. So I would immediately send my scouts out to Fiji, and I would pick like 17-year-olds with the highest speed stat and bring them over on contracts and build them up. So I would have like 100 speed on the wing, and that was how I approached everything. Proud Widow Journey Boys says, I play as fullback, or winger, or halfback. I am so quick. Very nice. I used to play in the backs. But, then as I continued to grow up, I developed a love for meat pies and, pie, and then I went into the forwards. And then in the forwards, I just never looked back. I realized I loved the strength over the speed. There's nothing quite like that one-on-one contest and just barreling somebody, So Hamish McKenzie says, so you're the reason Pie Face up near the post office closed down. No, I'm not the reason they're closing down, but I am probably the reason why they, for a long period of time there, they stopped doing the steak and cheese. Because I would just roam around from Brisbane to the Gold Coast and everywhere in between. I would just hunt down all the Pie Faces and order them out of the steak and cheese. DJ Shack says, pick teenager wingers with 97 speed, 97 acceleration. See? He hasn't even played the game and he already knows the hacks. Hasn't even played the game and he knows all the little leg ups. Hamish, you were up there yesterday for 2 hours before realizing it was shut down. Please tell me for the love of Christ, that you weren't up there for Pie Face. Please tell me I'm understanding correctly and you were up there for another reason, and then you just happened to notice that the Pie Face is closed down. You weren't there for the Pie Face, standing there for 2 hours waiting for them to open and then realizing maybe it's not here anymore. Ah, nice. Work experience at Subway. I'll tell you what I actually really don't mind. I really don't mind the Subway steak and cheese on Italian herb and cheese bread with Old English cheese, double Old English cheese. All right, Wasted Water Sports. Let's chat about what's coming up. I've got 2% left on my phone. 2% battery. So let's, okay, so we've got, I am legitimately going to try and drag myself up for 10 a.m. England versus Japan. The Rugby International. I think it's going to be a cracking contest. And then, of course, we've got the Super Rugby Grand Final tomorrow, and we'll back it up with the Rabbitohs Manly game, and that'll be our Saturday. In terms of plenty, Hamish. Plenty of stuff. Yeah, I just gave away a bunch of stuff to Party Jesus. I've got lots of stuff I'm trying to get rid of. Like boxes and boxes worth of stuff I'm trying to hand off. What was I going to say? In terms of just general video games, DJ Shack, I used to have a YouTube channel called Intoxigamer, where I played video games of all sorts. My favorite, though, I like the management sims, as I've said, but not just sports. I mean, like business management as well. I love the business management type of games, but in terms of like other games, survival games, zombie apocalypse games, that sort of stuff, I'm a big fan of. Intoxigamer will be coming back at some point. I just basically need to find the time for it. We've got a lot of stuff planned for it. Party Jesus and Pencil Pat and myself, we've filmed some stuff for the rebirth. I just haven't had the time to devote to it. But yeah, eventually, I know, Hamish, I know, but I just haven't had the time. I haven't had the time, mate. And honestly, what am I going to do? Am I going to go out of my way to make time for Intoxigamer when this is going so extremely well? Or am I going to continue doing this and having it go extremely well and build on it and then just try and find the time somewhere down the line? I mean, that is legitimately the only reason why it's still carrying on. It's still just a discussion because Wasted Water Sports has gone, I'm not going to lie, this channel has gone way better than I ever anticipated. Way better. I mean, I first tried this as a sub-channel to Intoxigamer back in the 2019, I think it was, Rugby World Cup, and it didn't really catch on. Restarted it, and it's just... restarted it and it just kind of exploded. So I've learnt my lesson in the past when channels have taken off and I've put my focus in the wrong areas. All right, Dogs versus Roosters. I've gone Roosters. I don't think that the Dogs can overcome the absence of Stephen Crichton. That's my reasoning. Stephen Crichton is such a big out for the Doggies. Pick a game that you really like and just play it. Ah, well, it'd be the Resident Evil series, but then I've already done it. I've already done the Resident Evil series on stream, so... Oh, Wonder Boy. Yes. Wonder Boy. Bloody Earthworm Jim. What a great game Earthworm Jim was. Earthworm Jim was one of the first games that I actually sat down and just played from start to finish. I mean, I didn't sleep for like 2 days. Isn't it crazy? Like, little Dan playing Earthworm Jim on my school holidays was bloody Earthworm Jim. I literally sat up for 3 days playing it. Couldn't do that anymore, man. I can't even sit up for one. I can't stay up 1 day anymore. Jeez, I barely get through a day of work without having a nap at lunchtime. But yeah, I sat up for 3 days straight playing goddamn Earthworm Jim so that I could clock it. All right, I'll be right back. Keep those questions coming if you like. All right, I'm back. Yeah, the Bulldogs still have a good side, but I just think Roosters have a better side with the absence of Stephen Crichton. That's all. Look, I think it'll be a good game, and I'm disappointed that I'm going to be missing it. I just think Stephen Crichton out. Can't understate the value of Stephen Crichton. I mean, let's not forget, look, here's the thing. I've been predicting the Bulldogs' resurgence for about 3 seasons now. Right? For about 3 seasons, I have put the Bulldogs in my top 8, and I've been made to look foolish. The missing ingredient to their team, because all the other players have been there. Right? The Matt Burtons, the Foxes. Well, Fox is not playing this week, but you know what I'm saying. All the other players have been there. The Kickows, the Burtons. They were missing that last ingredient. Stephen Crichton. Stephen Crichton's there this year. They suddenly now look like the top 8 team I've predicted them to be for the past 3 seasons. He's not playing this weekend. I have no faith in the Bulldogs without Stephen Crichton. It comes back to being as simple as that, quite honestly. As simple as that. No Stephen Crichton, I don't have the Bulldogs winning. I'll just look at the team sheets here. Yeah, look, I really do appreciate that the Roosters have quite a few outs for Origin duty. Spencer Leniu, Lindsay Collins, Connor Watson, Angus Crichton. Man, I just can't. I can't tip a Bulldogs team without Stephen Crichton. I just can't. DJ Shack says there's been a shock development in terms of Super Rugby news. Patrick Tuipulotu has overcome his nagging injury and he's ready to go for the final for the Blues. When was the last time he played? Patrick Tuipulotu, obviously a big name. But I'm just wondering when the last time he played was. Is it worth throwing him in there? All right, Waste of Water Sports, thank you so much for your company. I probably should head off if I'm going to get myself up for 10 a.m. for the England versus Japan Rugby International. Before I go, though, proud Wiradjuri boys, how do I think Latrell Mitchell will go? I think Latrell will go absolutely fine. Yeah. Mitch Moses for mine is probably the best in for the Blues. But yeah, I think Latrell's a big game player. This is the thing about Latrell Mitchell. Take club form, which has been fine in recent weeks as well, but take club form out of the equation when you're talking about players like Latrell Mitchell. My only concern is that Latrell is coming into the side to play centre, whereas he plays week in, week out at fullback. So that is my only concern. I have no doubt Latrell's one of those players that loves the spotlight, loves the big occasion, loves finals footy, state of origin, grand finals, internationals. He will do the job. Yeah, I've got no concern. No concern at all about Latrell. He'll do the job. All right, Waste of Water Sports. I will take my leave. And I'll be up at 10 a.m. in the morning. England versus Japan Rugby International here on the Waste of Water Sports. Thank you so much for your company as always here for the NRL. In terms of Rugby League, we will be back tomorrow night for the Rabbitohs and Manly. But before that, it's all Rugby Union. All right. Thank you so much. I'll catch you all next time. Yes, until then, cheers.
Wasted world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack. Ahoy! He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.